I am
Good
well
evening last
myself.
night.
Thank you very much.
It was so good to be with you and your daughters. That was so wonderful to see your family
And
together.
thank you for finding time for this.
Oh, of course.
Or invest one space that we, even in the government of Iran, it's one of the 5 things. So technology is key, and it's a great.
It's a facilitator.
I strongly believe that we are at a moment where
It is predicted that by 2050, 1 in 4 people occupying space on Mother Earth will be on the continent of Africa. So when I think of it just from that perspective, many could rightly argue that the future is on the continent of Africa. I also think, and I'll speak very candidly here, that we have to revisit and revise the narrative around the relationship in a way that appreciates that ours, the role of the United States, should not be one of benevolence, but of thinking about the relationship in the context of partnership. So it is not about and simply about aid, but about investment. And understanding the capacity that exists and has been proven to be strong on the continent, and therefore is worthwhile in terms of an investment, understanding it will yield a great return on investment. And when I think, Mr. President, in particular about your leadership in Kenya, I think this is empirical evidence of the need, of the imperative of the United States through our government and private sector partnering with Kenyans, with the Kenyan government, in a way that recognizes the extraordinary opportunity for continued investment writ large in innovation, thinking about what we must do as a global community around addressing crises like the climate crisis, what we can do through those investments that makes clear and real what we know to be the growth, that broad-based economic growth that occurs wherever and everywhere when you invest in women. And then doing that work through a partnership that also appreciates it is good for American business to be invested in relationships that contribute to global stability. Global stability, of course, results also in global economic stability. And so for all of these reasons, I simply believe it is the right thing to do, not to mention the intertwined history between the continent and our country. But also, if we are going to be at all forward-thinking, it is an imperative. Frankly, as Vice President, I say this as a devout public servant, sadly, often our strategy around foreign policy is based on the crisis of the moment. And part of how I think about the future and the imperative of the relationship with African nations is based on a vision that public policy be formed and implemented now based on a vision for the next 10, 20, and 50 years. And again, that all brings me back to the continent of Africa and Kenya as an example of a vibrant partner.
Technology is the facility, is the instrument that we can use to leapfrog Africa from where we are to the next, to catch up, if I may, with the rest of the world. We have the youngest population. That young population is tech hungry. Yeah. That young population, we have the opportunity to shape it in the direction in which we think it should. And that is why a country like Kenya, we are investing 30% of our budget in education, training, knowledge, skills. We are investing $5 billion every year. And I said earlier, it's money we believe is an investment, because if there is a single most important asset that we have is our human capital. And as my sister Kamala said, we are looking at the continent that will have a quarter of the world's population by 2050. 40% of the world's workforce will be from the African continent. Therefore, it is not only about labor, and therefore you need the correct quality of labor. It is also about we have signed in to $1 billion investment using American technology from Microsoft, capital resources from G42, and renewable energy from Kenya, because Kenya has the extra asset of having tech-savvy human capital. G42 will tell you, and Microsoft, and I'm sure they are in this meeting, Microsoft will tell you some of their best human capital come from Kenya.
Yeah, that's right.
We look at technology as an enabler and as a mechanism through which we can use the biggest resource we have in our young people, and we can also use it to better deliver agriculture, health, education, tax collection, government services. In fact, for Kenya, when I came into office, we had 300 government services. We've now moved 17,000 government services on the digital platform, because that is where the future is. That's how we can be able to efficiently deliver government services, cost effectively deliver government services, accountably deliver government services. So accountability, efficiency, technology enables us to do all that much more efficiently. Therefore, Madam Kamala Harris, you're focused in the right direction on technology, digital space, young people, women.